Good afternoon. How is everybody here on November the 25th? Just think, this time next month, yeah, Christmas Day. So it's not that long. And you know what? I do think now it's getting to that point because I saw the Coca-Cola Christmas ad yesterday. And once you've sort of seen that ad and you've seen, or you've heard, you know, the Pogues Christmas Day song, then you know Christmas is on its way. Well, that's my version anyway. But I'm still waiting till the 1st of December to watch the Muppets Christmas Carol and Nightmare Before Christmas. And then it's the first Saturday in December my tree goes up. So I'm not deviating from that in any way, shape or form. That's what's going to happen. So hello everybody. Yeah, just having my quick rant at Christmas. But okay, what we're going to do today, I've got a really nice one today actually. It's not, I wouldn't say it was complicated. It's a really nice one to do. You know, a couple of little bits and pieces on there. So we'll get going, shall we? Tile number 85. My goodness me, 85. I was looking through my journal actually last night, and it's just lovely to see those different pages and just see how far we've come. Not even from tile 1, but if we look at tile 24 or tile 30, we've come such a long way from there. Having said that, it's not that things are difficult. You know, we take each one step by step, of course, but yeah, it's nice to look back, isn't it? Okay, so what have we got today? I've got my regulars. I've even got my white chalk pencil. I've got a couple of white pencils, actually. This one's a Kohinoor one, and of course I've got my Brunswick white as well. So I'm hoping, you know, to bring a couple of pastels in. I'm gonna bring a coloured pastel in as well at some point. And I have got my, wrong way around, there you go. I have got my brush pen again because I'm wanting to, you know, fill something in a little bit thicker than the regular. So I'm going to be using that too. So, okay. Are we ready then? Tile number 85. Okay, deep breath. It's all good. All right, so starting with our pencil, I'm going to go in with my dots. So I've got 1, 2, there's our post person. Just arrived. There we go. 4 dots. And I'm just going to ever so lightly just bring down a kind of line from one to the other. And down here. Oh, do you know, I love doing these because everybody comes on and wishes everybody, you know, well and asks how people are. It's a lovely little community, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, good morning from New York. How are you? We won't mention politics at the minute. Oh, dear me. There we go. So there we go. Got my dots and my swirl. I've not gone any further than that. So going to come straight in now with my pen. Okay, just my regular O2 pen. And deep breath. I'm not gonna work in the centre. I'm not gonna aim for that. I'm gonna aim for just slightly off. And I think that's always a great thing to do, because if you try and aim for the middle and it's not going to be symmetrical, it looks a bit odd. But if you're going to go and aim for something off centre to start with, then everything's cool. Everything's fine. Okay, here we go then. So I'm just sort of sketching in a bit of a bubble. Quite a large, when I say large bubble, it's not massively large. There's my pen lid, hang on. So it's a little bit wider than my pen lid. There we go, let's do it that way. You see? Oh, that sort of helps, doesn't it? Oh, did you, Wendy? You wrapped your Christmas present. I'm just thinking, have I actually got wrapping paper in? I'm sure I must have somewhere. But not to worry. Sure, we'll work it out. Okay, let's have a bit of a dot in there. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit of a curl round. I'm going to go a bit larger just so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I'm going to put a little bobble on the end there. Okay. And that's a bit of a wobble as we're going around. And I'm going to sort of add a little bit more weight, a little bobble there. And then around again. And a bobble. There we go. All right. And a bit more there. fill it as I go. And working my way around. There we are. And just going to keep that going. So you can see I'm just adding this sort of rough little bit of a bobbly type of line. I mean, if you've got a bit of a wobbly hand anyway, this tangle is pretty good to use. You can do this in straight lines. You can do it to create frames if you like. But, I quite like it going round in this kind of fashion. You know, you can make it as crazy or as sort of more restrained as ever you like. Just working my way around. You see, you don't have to be particularly neat with this one. Oh, it's nice in France, is it? Well, I'm ever so pleased, and it's nice that the sun's out somewhere. But you know what? The fact that it's dreary and damp here, it's fine. We're indoors, you know, bit of heating, nice warm jumper, and that's all fine. There you go. Oh, a little bit there. All right. Okay, let's have a look at that then. So that's where it's at. So it looks a little bit small now compared to, but you know, we've got something to work from, haven't we? Okay, so I'm just going to come up a little bit more now. And I'm going to just, now this can be done, you know, however many you want. I'm going to sort of work on threes, I think. So I'm going to sort of work, up back. I'm going to create, and you might want to watch this before you do. I'm going to start quite fine. So I'm coming on from that bubble there. And I'm just going to create a little sort of lip, you see? And then let's have another one. So I'm going to start the same here. I'm going to come up and out. You see a bit of a sort of a lip there. Now here, I mean, if I'd have gone a little bit bigger, I could have done 3. But I think it's going to end up being 4. So lip. There you go. It's going to end up being 4. That's fine. Okay. So then I'm going to take this first one again. See, this first one a little bit dodgy there, but that's fine. I'm going to bring that one out and back in. Okay. And then from this point here, I'm going to come out. So it gets a bit wider there, and then I'm going to take it back in. All right. And the next one, I'm going to come, see this one here, I actually sort of went a little bit wide there, but that's okay. I'm just going to sort of bring it round and back in. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. Okay. And let's do another one. See, it gets a bit wider and then comes back in. So we're almost letting loose and then controlling. You see? So I'm going to try it this way, see if that helps. I'm going to come from here again, bring it out and back in. Okay? And then from the point here, around and out. You see it got a bit wider? And then again, around here and back in. And another. Around here and back in. Okay, so at the moment each one has got 3. I think I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to start here. Doesn't matter where you start. Back in, and there we go. And turning it round. Let's do another. In and round. And another. Yeah, a little bit like seashells. But, yeah. It's nice actually, I think that they don't. Let's try doing it this way, look. So it's wider there. And then bring it back in there. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do another one. Each one's got 4 at the minute. Let's do another one. There we go. Look, 1 there. And let's do another one. See, it's funny how sometimes you're more comfortable with one way compared to the other. And I'm just doing exactly the same curve, starting at the same point, ending at the same point I'm trying to, or it looks like it's going that way. But it depends on. There we go. So you've got 5 of those. All right, let's have a look then. So you see, we've used quite a little bit of the space, but we've not covered all of it. And I'm still in my border, but even if I wasn't, it doesn't matter. So our next job then, I'm going to bring in that brush pen. And again, this is entirely up to you what you do. You can do totally different colour if you want to. Oh, do you, Sheila? Yes, I think you know. So yeah, if you want to try a different colour, please feel free. But the beauty of this, you remember this one I said here, oh, it's got a little bit of a flat bit there, and it was all a bit dodgy. Well, the beauty of this now is I can come in, look, and I can just change the shape of that a little bit. So, happy accidents and all that. Yeah. And then I'm going to miss one. And then I'm going to come in and fill in. So you see why we've mentioned having the bigger brush. I mean, if you want to, you could use lots of different colours. So you could start with, I don't know, maybe a red, then go to a purple and a blue, or a red, orange and a yellow. Now, there's some areas that are quite fine. You see, like this bit here, I've left that. But yeah, I don't always go for a theme, I must admit. It's nice to try out new things. But this is a pattern we have done before, but there's a couple of patterns I'm going to bring in that we haven't. So it's nice to mix and match, isn't it? Okay, so you see where you've got that little bit there? I can come in like with my finer pen and just neaten that edge up there, you see? And the same with this bit here. Okay, so it's very forgiving, this one, because you can shape it to suit. There we go. Well, I'm liking that. All right. So let's do the same again on this one. Now I know that each one's got 5, so I know that I can start really on the outer one and fill that in, and I know I'm going to sort of get a similar pattern. But if you've got 4, or each one's different, that's fine too. Everybody's going to have their own way and see different things in it. But I just want to get these filled in. And again, if you want to, you see what you might want to do this as you go, or you might want to just fill it in and then come back and add in those little gaps if you've got any later. It's entirely up to you. There we are. See, it's nice to just try and keep the flow going. There we go. You see a bit of a bump on there. I could leave it if I wanted, but being that I've got the other pen in my hand, I'm going to come on in and just clean that up a little bit. And of course then, back to this bottom one. And around that shape there we go. Okay, look like little shoes, don't they? And stripy socks. Yeah, it's one of those, famous designer drawings of those little girls that don't smile. She wears black and white stripy socks. They do have a Mad Hatter one of those, actually. I quite like that one. That's quite cool. Okay. Oh, hey Barbara. Nice you could join us, you're right. You see, if I'm trying to colour in and use this one for the whole thing, you see how long it would take me to do it? So we don't want to be doing that, really. If you've got, even if you've not got a brush, because I know some people are a little bit, don't really like all the brushes. And, you just use a thicker nibbed pen, the 08 or the seriously ones. But I quite like my brush. There you go. Alright, shaping that round there and that one. Right, so just get those little bits in there. Alright, turning it round. next bit. So I'm just going to come back in with that brush pen. That's it, follow it round. You see, if I stop, I would sort of flick it in towards the space, just to try and keep that smooth line in around that outside edge. Yeah, and if you're not sure, just sort of do it slightly inside the line, and then you can go back in with your thinner pen. You see? There we go. So I've just got that little bit there, look, and just go in and fill that tiny bit there. Okay? Alright, so here we go. It's quite bold and dramatic, this one, isn't it? Must be in that kind of mood today. So, yeah. It's all busy going over here at the minute. Lots of things coming up. Got lots of new ideas, lots of things planned. We're just working on them. I've just got one here that I'm working on for the 4th of December. I just need to check my spellings, don't I? Because I know I'm not known for all the accurate spellings in my instructions, but hey what, at least you know that the handwritten, that I do actually do what I say I'm doing. And you know, we do it all here, so not always get a chance to proofread. Oh, I quite like that, look at that. Oh, that's pretty cool, I like that. All right, I'm going to keep that out because what I want to do now, oh, boring yet, that's the point. I am on Create and Craft on Friday. They've given me a slot. It's a really, really important day for them, actually. So just getting one show on there is pretty good going. So I'll be on at 1:30. But that's the only one. Of course, that then has a bit of a conflict with our live session, doesn't it? But that means, I think what I'll do is what I usually do if I've got that kind of problem, is I move my session on the Friday to 7 o'clock in the evening. So if you can watch me there, that's absolutely great. I'll do it at 7 o'clock. Gives me a chance to sort of get home, and you know, it's quite a drive just to sort of settle back in, and I'll do one at 7. Oh, okay. See what I'm doing here? Look, I'm actually going in between each of these shapes, and I'm just adding 1, 2, 3 lines. Now you can go as small or as wide as you like. It's entirely up to you, but I'm just doing the 3. Okay. And then here, you've got a choice. I'm going to colour them in, so you can colour in both the outside and leave that one, or you can colour that one in. It's entirely up to you. Oh, Nadia, I know. Do you know, sometimes I don't know what day it is or whether I'm coming or going. And they give dates, and at times they will change them. I mean, they do ask, of course, but sometimes, you know, it's just how things are. Certainly at the minute, I do try and be flexible, but I also need to let everybody else know as well. I mean, on Friday, I say it's not going to be new product because it's one of those, it's going to be the best price ever kind of show. So there's a couple of bits on there that some of you may have seen before, some of you may never have seen before. It's a few different bits, but yeah, okay. Yeah, they are, Rhiannon. Yeah, they're already on there, and they're already selling. There are a few bits and pieces on there that I don't have many of. It's just, you know, so if you want one, if you want it, get it. Okay, so I'm going to leave that now for a minute because I want to do something a little bit different. I'm going to add in a bit of a pattern now. Let's have a look. Oh, Chris. I'm going to come from this point here. Let's go a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So from here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to create a bit of a wave. So, I mean, I want to make it quite sort of lots of valleys and peaks if I can. So I'm going to go over the border. Let's just give it a little bit of a flick. I'm going to put a little dot on the end. Okay. And then from the same point, I'm going to work it up and create sort of a thinnery shape there, you see? And then when I get to here, I'm going to cross over, come to this side, and then cross over and come to this side. I'm going to have a bit of a random end there, you see? All right, let's go ahead and do that again. I'm going to come up this side, so same as before, look, then back down, cross over, back up, cross over, and a bit of a kink. Look at that, it's quite nice, isn't it? I like that. Bit of a ribbony kind of effect. Now you can do as many or as few of those as you like. I think I'm just going to leave it for 3 for now. See, I've got all odds today, haven't I? Didn't quite plan it that way, but that's sort of how it's sort of ending up. So let's turn it round now. I'm going to go with one here too. Now, I could go with one either side. Doesn't matter. It doesn't mean the pattern's got to stick on that side. So, yeah. Let's do one from this side. Obviously, it's not going to be as big because I've not got as much room. But let's just create that bit of a pattern again. See? And then back up, cross over, and then back up. You see? And let's put those little dots on. And just to sort of stick within, I'm going to go with 3. There we go. Look at that, I like that. Got a bit of movement, hasn't it? Okay, so let's have a look to this one then. You can choose again. I'm going to go with this one. A little bit smaller this time. But you see how I'm really going quite sort of deep with them. So that's, I'm going to go inside that one then. There we go. Again, I'm going to put the dots on. And if you don't want to put dots, actually it might be quite nice to put little sort of bobbles on the end so it sort of matches. Yeah, let's do that. There we are. See, I can change it if I like. It's my design. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. I quite like that. They are little sort of bobbles on the end. Alright, so let's do a third. Here we are. And then again, I'm going to put that little bobble on the end. There we go. Okay. Turn it round then. Oh, 8 tiles behind. Oh, honestly, pick ones you like and do it. If I'm honest, I've not got as many in my journal page finished as I'd like, but they're there, and then they're numbered. So I know that when I do get around to doing them. I mean, sometimes as well, you might think, do you know what? I just want to do a little bit of something. So it might be that you go into your journal and you just do a piece of something and then leave it, go to something else. Doesn't all have to be finished on the same day at the same time, does it? It's fine. So, okay, so see, I've got quite a bit of space here, and so what I'm going to do, there are no rules anyway. I mean, I've only done one on each of those, but I'm going to come back and do one. I'm going to do another one here. So it's going to go under there, look, because it's sort of matching. And then let's do a swirl there, a little bobble on the end. And then it's going to happen again. There's my second one. Crosses over there, crosses over there. There we go. There we are. And then, now I can't honestly say I am not behind with tiles, because I can't be, because I've done every one. So, but say it's fine. Just pick the ones you like. You don't have to do them all. But you know, sometimes it's pick one that you think, oh, I could never do that, or I'm not so sure. And I think you find that it'll teach you something. I mean, each one has got something in there. Even if you think, oh, I've done that pattern before, it's all about that teacher in me, I suppose, and it's that consolidation of actually having another go at something. All right, so I quite like that. It's looking good already, but there's a couple of things I still need to do with it. So let's continue with these little swirls for now. Actually, I'm going to take this one because we can see what we're doing here. So you see where we've gone in this curve? I'm going to bring a curve around again, but I'm going to bring it back on itself. You see, so it's like a little bit of a hook there, and let's just put a little ball in there. I know you can't see all of it because it's going behind. So let's do the same here. So I'm going to, from about here, as though I'm doing another one of the curved shapes, but then bring it back on itself. And then let's put that ball in there. Okay. So let's do the same on this one then. You see here I've got the curve, so let's bring that curve around. and then put that ball in there. Okay. And then of course this side, it's going to go this way. Alright, let's put that ball in there. There we are. Oh, Pat, as long as you've got numbers, so you know where you are. I must admit, if I forget to put numbers on, that's where it starts to get crazy, because I then have to consult Leslie, because Leslie does have them in the number order. But I'm much better now. I had a bit of a wobble, I think, around the end of book 2. So you see here, I haven't really got much of a space there, have I? So I'm not going to put one in there. I'm just going to put one in here. There you are. If you find that yours, you know, it doesn't want to quite do it, doesn't matter. Oh, are you, Sue? The owls are beautiful, aren't they? And I think what you're all coming up with, you know, we sit and look at the pictures you're posting. They're just fab. Absolutely fab. Love them. Okay. So here we go. I've got a couple more I can put in here. Look, so there's that little curl. Put that ball in. That curl. Put that ball in. Okay. All right, let's have a look at this. Let's see where this is going. Okay. So, are we ready for something a little bit different now? Yeah, now I know that we've done leaves before and there's a couple of different ones we could do, but I wanted to try something a bit different today. So I am bringing my pencil in with this, just to give you a little bit of a pointer. So let's have a look. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to put my little line in. Okay, bit of a line. Yeah. So let's make it a little bit larger. I'm going to do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do with pencil, ever so lightly, I'm going to imagine just slightly above the top there. Just ever so lightly. Let's do a bit early so you can see it. You see? And then I'm going to sort of bring it down either side, just so you've got a bit of an idea. So it's a bit like a triangle, you see? So then what I'm going to do is start from this bottom bit. I'm going to call up and round, and then round. You see where I'm starting to create this sort of shape? Oh, John's been to the post office and he's just come back with cake. Lemon drizzle, I think it was. Alright, so you see I'm just sort of doing this, weaving in and out and creating this sort of pattern. And you see, and because I'm following that triangular shape, it's naturally getting smaller as I work my way up. It does a bit, doesn't it? Let's have a look at that from a distance. There you are. Okay. So let's put another one in. I'm going to have another one there coming this way, so it's going to go behind, isn't it? There we go. Now again, just to sort of help things along a bit, you can add in that little triangle. Now you're not going to see much of the bottom section, so I'm going to sort of add that sort of little loop on the top to start with, and then bring it down. You see, to some it might feel a little bit weird doing it this way. There we go. See, in here I can do the same again, but because I've got that little bit of a guide there, it just makes life a little bit easier for me, just to get that pattern going. Right, let's have a look at that. Yeah, it's just something a bit different, isn't it? We tend to do the smaller sort of chunky leaves, but these are quite sort of large, and you know, we want something a bit different. So let's put one in. Yeah, let's put one in here. So again, start with that line. And again, you know, just if you need to, just put your little triangle shape in, and let's sort of start here. See, I'm going in, and you see how it's sort of pointing that way. So each one's going to be slightly different, and then I'm going to bring it back down this way. Do you know, at least he's told me he's brought a cake this time. You know, last time I was at Create and Craft, I'm going to I'm going to tell you what he did. He and Leslie called me. It was a Saturday that I was last on at Pick of the Day, with the owls actually. And they both stood there in the kitchen drinking their drinks and eating cream cakes. Now they did say that they don't buy cream cakes when I'm in because I can't eat them because of the cream. But he said, well, you were in today, so we thought we'd have cream cakes. Oh, thank you very much. Thought about me, but there we go. So it's getting a little bit narrow. Now, if you want to be a little bit more free with it and not put the triangle shape in, you can do that. Hello, Victoria. Is that cool? It's pretty good, isn't it? Because each one's going to be different, isn't it? You know, and again, if you don't want to put the triangle in, you don't have to. But I think it just sort of gives you that little bit of a comfort blanket, doesn't it? So it's sort of hidden in here somewhere because I'm well behind different bits and pieces now, you see. But there we go. I think these would be nice, you know, with the poinsettias and things. You know, if you want sort of a bigger leaf, or maybe even doing them in their autumn colours and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay. So of course I've got quite a couple there now. I think I do need some on this other side. So let's have one going this way. Okay. Yeah. I know. No, I don't mind. You know, it doesn't particularly bother me. And his thinking was there. He's like, well, you're not here, so we'll have them while you're not here. So that's okay. They were working hard. Have a little one there, so it's like the top end. There we go. Okay. See, okay. So, you know, do we need another one here? I'm not so sure. I've got two. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to put one. Just a little one. Okay. So here we go. Same in. See how it just gets smaller and smaller. There we are. Just add a little bit of one there. So it's going well behind that anyway, so you're not going to see that. Okay. And then, of course, if you've got, you know, bits of space left, there's nothing stopping you bringing in a couple of zingers. All right. So I know, Julie, I've not done zingers in ages. What feels like ages, but, you know, let's add a couple in. You know, just on the off chance there's a few sort of knocking about. All right, let's put one in here. They're just great, aren't they, just to fill up little areas if you need them to. Just add a little bit more interest. Let's just add a little bit of a leaf in there. Now, they don't need to be in all of them. You don't need to be everywhere. But, you know, it's nice to have them just sort of creeping in. Okay, let's have a look at that. Ooh, okay. That's not bad at all. I'm liking that. What I am going to do now, remember the border that we started with at the beginning? I'm going to come back in now and just put that one in. Just working my way inside those little leaves there. And then here, I mean, you can decide if you're going to have these as sort of like free strings, or that's fine, but I'm going to have them so they're solid, which is why I'm going to put my border going underneath. Oh, dear Barbara. It's not that I don't like it, it's my stomach won't digest cream like that. Same with milk as well, that's why I stopped drinking proper tea, because I can't drink it black, and I couldn't drink it with milk in, so I drink loose leaf tea now. So. Alright, okay, so that's our basic sort of outline drawn up, isn't it? That's where it's going there. So I think what we'll do now is I'm going to go to the pencil. Here we go. Let's go a little bit larger. And we'll start in sort of, I'm not going to put any pencil in the middle. I'm going to come in there in a little while with the pastel. But what I am going to do, remember these sort of like mussel type shell shapes? Let's add some pencil either side. So see here, I'm even going over the black. So you don't need to worry about trying to just do the stripy bits. And of course, let's get some in there as well. And then in here and around there. So you follow the shape around. There we go. And little bits in there. And little bits in here. And there. And of course, a bit in here. And that one. So I know it looks a little bit of a mess at the minute. You think, oh, I've gone over all that lovely black. What are you doing? But not to worry. So, okay, let's come to these sections. You see these sort of ribbons? I'm going to do a little bit of pencil either side. There we go. Just in the corners there. And again, I'm not going to touch those at the minute, but I am going to come in. See, that one's behind, so it's got a little bit more pencil than that one. So I'm not colouring in as such, I'm just adding that graphite down on the paper. You see, just looking away. You see I've got a bit of a leaf in there as well, that's fine. There we go, you see? And of course here I've got a leaf in the background there, so I'm just going to add a little bit. And here I'm just going to come up that first original stem a little bit. Oh no, Denise, I've tried it. I can't do it. I've tried almond, I've tried soya milk. Just nothing does it like a cup of tea. I know at school, the kids used to say that I had tea running through my veins, not blood. I used to drink that much. And Colin, my technician, was fantastic. He got it absolutely spot on. You see, it looks quite rough, doesn't it? It's not the neatest, and you think, oh my goodness me, she's really spoiling this, what's she doing? But honestly, the point is not to try and colour in, it's just getting a little bit of that pencil down where you need it. And it's the same with the pastels, it's just that you're working with a colour rather than the graphite, which we're going to do in a little minute. So, there you go. So don't think, oh, she's making a mess of it here. What's she doing? Let's have a look at that. Okay. All right. So yeah, looks a bit rough around the edges, but here we go. Let's come in with our tortillon. Okay. So same again. I'm going to come large so you can see what I'm doing. On these sections here, I'm just going to very gently soften the edge. The last thing I want to do, I really don't want to go all the way into the middle. I'm just softening the edge. Okay. Oh, do they, Kathy? Do you know? I know. When I'd started the other week, it's a good job Leslie was here because Hermes arrived just as I'd started. And you're like, no, don't do it. But people don't understand it. It's like when somebody rings you when the bake-off's on. I know. My mum normally does that. If you're out there, Mum, don't ring me when the bake-off's on. There we are. You see what I'm doing? I'm just softening, but I'm leaving that centre bit. So, well, let's do this bit as well, without any of that pencil on at all. See, there's not much you can do there. I'm just taking it up a little bit, you see? Same with this one. So you can go over the black as long as it's dry, which, to be honest, it should be by now, because we did that right at the very beginning, didn't we? Okay. Same here. Okay. And just softening the edge. There we go. Okay. It was the final Maureen, so I'll not tell you who won, I'll not spoil it. No, I wouldn't do that to you. No. Oh, I think I've started something now, haven't I? Let's have a look at that. Okay. Oh, I know, Kathy, but I don't think that's going to happen because do you know what? It's not everybody watches these videos. And not everybody knows what Sanntangle is. So we've still got a little bit of world domination to do, haven't we? We'll get there. All right, so let's have a look what we're doing here then. So these little bits, again, I'm just going to soften the edge and try as best I can to leave a little bit in the middle there. So we've got that little bit of a highlight. Okay, now if you're using a coloured tile, you'd be doing exactly the same, but of course you know that your white pencil can come in and give you a little bit more of a highlight there. We can still use that with these tiles, but it doesn't really give you that wow effect as it does sort of on a grey tile, does it? But that's okay. This is going to look fab. All right. I'm just now contemplating actually as I'm just softening these what colour I'm going to use for my pastel. And this is the good thing about just having a smaller set, isn't it? That you don't have to look at 70 odd colours. You know which one to use. You just pick one. You just think, oh, a red. So there's your red. So yeah, I don't know. Now I've mentioned red, I suppose I could use red and green. Maybe we did mention, you know, December coming up, red and green, a bit Christmassy. Maybe. All right, so here we go. I'm just softening the edges. So I'm not colouring in. And if those leaves go out a little bit, it's fine because, you know, it's all part of that shadow experience, isn't it? There we are. See, let's have a look at where we are then. Who says we don't? All right. So I think next thing then is we need to come in with our white pencil. This is actually I'll go in with the white pastel. So it's out the set. It's the Brunzil ones. And what I'm going to do is ever so lightly, I'm just going to put from here. You remember we've sort of got this bit of a curve, haven't we? So I'm just going to draw that line in. Yeah. And then ever so lightly, just sort of all the way up that line, I'm just going to add a little bit of a wiggle. There we go. See? And then turn it around, same again here. And then add a bit of a wiggle. Okay. And then same again. Turn it round. And a bit of a wiggle. See, I'm even going over the white. I'm not being... I think it just sort of stops the flow if you do that. And again, a bit of a wiggle. See, I'm only working sort of in a small area. I'm not trying to sort of spread it out completely. See, let's go back in and just add that line back in. See, I'm just sort of reinforcing that line. There we go. And then same, straight up the centres of these. See, with these, because they're quite small, you don't really need that little wiggle. That's all it needs. Okay. Look at that. Aha. All right. So I'm just going to come back in with my pen. And let's just come in a little bit. Oh. Cross that up. And I'm just going to sort of make sure that I've still got those edges defined. So you know, if I've got a little bit of sort of the white chalk or the pastel going over, I just want to make sure that it's not taken away from those shapes. See? There we go. That's fine. All right. Yeah, it's more sort. It is more sort of shell-like, isn't it? It's not as floral as you'd sort of expect. So okay, let's bring a bit of colour in here, and yeah, I'm going to come in with the red pastel. Now I know we've already put pencil in here, but I'm just going to come in and add a touch. Now you see that I sort of started from the point and I've just sort of curved it a little bit, so it's followed the shape, but I've not gone right to the top. And let's do the same here. See, so I'm following the curve shape, you see there? But not going all the way to the top. So let's do the same with this one. So again, just working my way outwards. Okay, and then same there. Turning it round, same again. So you see, just keeping that flow going and just following those curves around the shape. Oh, Melinda, yeah, it is. It's a tangle board. Yeah, I think there's a lot of us that got them now, and they come plain, of course, but then you put your own bits and pieces on it. So whether you want to add in, you know, different patterns, you just follow the grain and go with it. It's great fun. All right, let's have a look at that. You see where I've got that red in? So I'm going to come in now with another tortillon, and I'm just ever so gently, I'm just going to sort of follow the same route that I took before, and I'm just softening those edges. You see, it's not going to be as vivid red as if I was using the colour on its own, because it's sort of mixing with the graphite that's there, so it's going to sort of give off that sort of more matte vintage feel to it. So, you know, if you want to have the seriously just the bright red, then you wouldn't have gone in with your pencil first. But I quite like mixing the two. There we go. See? And same again. Okay. And same here. See, I'm just following the curve round, just to soften that edge a little bit. Okay, and let's bring some of that red back in. I'm just going to pick one side of this in the middle here. I'm just going to add a little smile. Okay, and again, just ever so gently, I'm just going to soften the edges. You see, it's not gone quite to the edge, but just part of it. Okay, let's have a look at that. Just going to give it a blow, because when you're using pastels, you do find you get little bits. There we go. See, that's looking lovely. I like that. So okay, let's bring in the dark green. So you think, okay, gonna do leaves. I want to have a look at these little balls on the sort of outer edge of this. Then I'm just gonna add in a little bit of a smirk. Imagine having two little eyes, look, a little smile there. But I'm gonna do them at different angles. Let's find the other one. You see. So, you know, I'm on purpose looking at different angles of where I'm putting them. So there's quite a few here, see? There we are. Okay. I think, you know, even over the edge, I'm just going to add a touch over the edges. Just, it only needs a little bit. We're not trying to colour it in, we're just adding a hint of something, that's all. So of course, you know, if you wanted to use different colours, if you want to go in with pencils, you can do this, it's absolutely fine. Alright, I'm just using a rubber look, and I'm just rubbing off the pastel, because I don't want, if I have my red and my green pastels mixing, you see there, I'll end up with a brown. I don't want that. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to ever so gently just sort of work it round the shape, you see? So it's ever so subtle. If you want to add a couple of layers on and do a little bit more, it's fine. But I'm not aiming to totally block it with colour. I'm just looking at getting a little bit of colour in there, just a hint as I'm working my way around. There we go. See, just softening the edge, but see, if I'm softening something round, I will work roundwards, yeah, but you know what I mean. I work round the shape, so I'm not putting straight lines where they wouldn't naturally be, kind of thing. There we go. All right, let's have a look at that then. All right, so I'm going to come in with there's two greens in this pack, so I'm going to come in with that sort of like really bright green and just put a little bit in on the stems. You know, just sort of the centre bits of those leaves. Where are we at? There we are. Let's see. Perhaps a bit there. And I'm actually not going to I'm not going to sort of soften them at all. Just going to leave them at that. Okay. So, last sort of thing, you know, because we've put a border around, it's always nice, isn't it, just to identify that border. So I'm going to come back with the pencil and I'm just going to come around. You see, I'm using the side of it and I'm just adding some to the edges there, you see, just to bring it out a bit. There we go. And around again. There we go. And again, I'm coming back in with the graphite tortillon. This is why I always said that try, if you can, to sort of use a different one for your pastels than you do for your pencil, because you'll just end up with a bit of a muddy mess if you don't. So just softening that out, you see? Okay. A little bit there. You see, I'm just avoiding the leaves. I'm not trying to cover those in any way. There you go. Just, you know, giving it a little bit of something. So, almost done. I'm going to come back with my black pen now. Okay. So, here we go. What I'm wanting to do is, if we're not careful, we do it and we put all this colour on, and it look, you know, and you just sort of sometimes forget and lose sight of things. So I want to come back to these little ribbons that we did, and what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of weight, or just go back over some of those lines, just on the edge there, you see? I know it looks a little bit rough close up, and you see here where it's sort of crossed over. Let's just add a bit of weight there as well. You see, just bringing it round. Okay, same here. Again, it doesn't matter if it's not quite going over the same line or it's a little bit wobbly. You see, but let's just have a look at that. You see, now you've got a very definite sort of in and out, and it's making that sort of bit of white there almost look a little bit sort of more vibrant, doesn't it? So let's do the same on this one. So again here, look, I've got quite a lot going on inside here, so I'm just going to come in and just highlight those again, just a little bit. And then of course when I get to this end, just that little bit there, and then bringing it round here, and then of course this side and this one. Okay, we might even, because it's crossed there, let's do a bit there as well. Alright, actually being that one's crossed as well, let's do a bit there. Okay, so let's have a look, got another one here. So just where it crosses over, let's just redefine those little bits, see, there you go. And turning it round. So this one. Now of course we've done this tile today on a regular cream tile. So imagine if you were going to do it on a different colour. So you could be using that white pencil to, you know, a bit more effect, to get those real white highlights. But, you know, choosing different colours will give it a totally different feel. There we go. Let's have a look at that. Now you see, we've got other other bits and pieces here. See, I've got a leaf coming over this one. So let's just again, just highlight that little bit there, just to say, look, there you are, look at me, I'm in front. Okay, I've got the same sort of thing there, look, that one coming up there. Alright, and then here, there's a bit of one. You see? It does, doesn't it? It's really brought it. I mean, you won't see the white. But as I say, if you've got a coloured one, you could always go in. I mean, I can see it here, but you might not see it. So let's go back in and add some white. Just to those highlighted bits there. There we go. Just brings it to life. And of course, you know, you could use a white pen. But using the sort of the chalky today. Let's have a look. Yeah, it does. I think it's because we've talked about Christmas. We've mentioned fern, and then we've put the reds and stuff in there. So, okay, just a couple more things. I'm just going to come back in with my pencil. You know, just in places. So let's just look at this ribbon here, for example. If I actually put a line following the curve, let's go a bit larger so you can see me. See, straight over there. See, now it's touching there now. So it was touching here, it's come out, and then it's coming round and touching here. And then from here, it's going to come out and touch here. See? Then let's get torty on it, and let's just soften that up a little bit. See, I'm not trying to make it travel too far there, I'm just softening the edge. Alright, let's have a look at that. You see where you've got a bit of a shadow. So let's try that with this one. So I'm going to have, so we've got to sort of join it somewhere. I'm just going to bring that out a little bit because it's quite close. And then here. So I'm going to have a bit there too, where that ball is. And then around this end. And in there. And then again, let's just soften that edge. And of course we could do drop shadows on everything if you want to, but I'm thinking about if we're not careful we end up with graphite and pencil everywhere. So I'm just going to do the ribbons. Okay, so you're going to get a little bit of show there. A bit on that one of course. And again, just soften it up. You see, we're just wanting it to sort of disappear in the background a little bit, but just giving it a little bit of lift, you see? So there we go. And I'm doing it as I go, because if I don't, I'll forget to come back with the torty on afterwards. There you are. You see how it's started to look a little bit? Look at that one. Let's go in a bit. There you are. In a bit compared, look at the shadow here compared to none here. So again, it's entirely up to you whether you want to add a bit in or whether you want to just leave it. See, it's always a little bit lower as well. It's a little bit not quite matching. It's a bit at an angle. There we are. Just working my way in. There we go. Then just softening up as we go. Okay. A little bit. See a little bit there, around there. You see, I'm just sort of following those curves. See that I'd have a bit there, and we'd probably have a bit there. There's no right or wrong. It's just a case that do what you feel, and you know you might look at it and think, oh, it wasn't quite. And, you know, you can pick it up as you go, but. And the main thing is having a go. So if you don't try and you don't do it, you'll never improve, and you'll never learn. It's just about having a go, you see. So just doing it with the ribbons, there we go, see, and not the leaves. The leaves have now gone to the background a little bit more, and these are very, very up front and centre. But then because we've used red in the middle here, it means that we've actually got this, it's a little bit more vibrant, isn't it? than everything else. I think what I'm going to do, just before we finish, is I'm going to come in with a bit of purple. I'm just going to add a touch purple, you know, just to that bottom edge there. Just to sort of give it a little bit something. Let's go a little bit larger, you see there? And then again, in with that tortillon, I'm just going to ever so gently just sort of ease it off a bit. You know, it just really defines that centre. Just a little bit more. You notice I've not touched the white at all. Just definitely want to leave that as is. So that just sort of gives us a little bit more depth in the middle there as well, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Last thing then. Signature. Oh, Michelle, no, honestly, please don't worry about it. It's never messed up. If you're not sure, leave it to one side, do it another day, try again. Or, you know, just sort of pick on the bit you like. So, for example, if I looked at it and thought, do you know what, I just like this bit, then just cut that bit out, you know, or, you know, punch bits out of the rest and use it. For one thing, they don't think it's got to stick with that exactly the same as what it is. So if you remember at the beginning, I sort of toyed with a random tortillon falling. I sort of went with 4. I said, see how it goes. I have got one here that I did with 3. So if I just move that one up a little bit, just so I've got a bit of space, and I bring this one in, you can see here it's the same pattern. But instead of having 4 going around, I've actually just got the 3. And because I've used a grey tile, it's slightly more muted, but you're really getting this very faint white line in. And then, of course, as you can see, rather than having the coloured baubles in there, I've actually used the same pattern in these ones as I have in the centre. So no border, and then, of course, I've added some bubbles around, which you can, by all means, there. So it just shows, you know, a couple of different ways. So, oh yeah, Sheila, of course you can, yeah, die cut it out, go for it. So yeah, so if you want to, you know, you start and you think, oh, I was going to end up with 4, and you only end up with 3, that's absolutely fine. You'll still get a really nice tile, but, you know, it just looks a little bit different. So I hope that's given you a little bit of insight into, well, a bit of pastels today and a bit of shading. And of course our new sort of leaf shapes that you can now be playing with. And yeah, I mean, if you're not doing anything at Opus 1 on Friday, you know, tune in on Create and Craft, I'll be there. And our regular tile slot at 2 o'clock, obviously I'm not going to make that. But just as I mentioned earlier, I'll do a live session, because of course we've got to get to 100, haven't we, for New Year's Eve. So I shall do tile number 86 on Friday at 7 o'clock in the evening. So if you can join me, great. I'd love to sort of catch up with you on the rest of the week. I mean, if not, you can always watch it, you know, as a catch up later, because it's not going anywhere. It'll still be there. So yeah, have fun with this one, and I'll look forward to seeing what you're going to do with it. It's another different one. But yeah, all being well, I will see you on Friday. So take care, everybody. Go and put your feet up, have a cuppa, have another go at it, have a play, and yeah, see you Friday. All right, you take care. Bye.